This is my audience of 4. Gun control is one of the biggest issues in the United States today. Some believe that more laws against guns will reduce the death rate, and some believe the opposite. We have all heard the tragic stories on the news about how someone specifically misused a gun and that led to many deaths, some that hit just a little too close to home. On the other hand, we all know the importance of our own lives and what we will do to save our families no matter the cost. DW.com, 8 Facts About Gun Control, states that the Gun Control Act of 1968 requires that all citizens must be 18 years or older to purchase any gun or ammunition. All other firearms, such as a handgun, can only be sold to 21 years or older. Gun regulations lead many people to believe that their safety will decrease and that they will no longer be able to defend themselves when danger occurs. So why is gun control so important? Gun control laws will reduce the number of mass shooting rates. Allowing just anyone to conceal a gun can and will increase the number of homicides. Just at the beginning of this year, not just one, but over 300 mass shootings have occurred throughout the United States. This should be enough to see the importance of gun control. 8,787 people have died, and 17,463 people have been injured from guns just this year. OnSecrets.org states that there was at least one mass shooting in the year of 2018, and as of today, there are continuous shootings killing many innocent children and adults. 21,241 people under the age of 21 died from gun-related injuries across the U.S. But how will stricter gun laws prevent these tragedies from happening? You may be asking yourself the same question every American has asked. Science has proven that gun control has worked to lower the number of mass shootings. Research has shown that mental illness is not the cause of violence, and someone with mental illness is said to be more likely a victim than anything. According to BusinessInsiders.com, the overall contribution of people with serious mental illness to violent crimes is only about 3%. Suicide in the U.S. is a much higher rate than it should be. Countries who restrict gun control laws have much lower suicide rates than we do. If you want to believe it or not, suicide is most likely caused by guns, and guns are used more than half of all suicide deaths, and makes suicide attempts much easier to commit. If a gun is available and in range, someone wanting to commit this will definitely do so. Most people who do attempt suicide without the use of a gun will survive. According to Gliffords.org, guns are uniquely lethal and are responsible for over 50% of suicide deaths. Guns are not in control of how a person uses it, and we are all in control of the decisions we make, but suicide is usually impulsive, and reaching for a gun is the quickest and easiest way to do so. Suicide has caused over 47,000 deaths and is the leading cause of death in America. Restricting gun control laws will lead to the prevention of impulsive actions and the later regrets of suicidal attempts who have survived. So why should only some people be allowed to own a firearm? The Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states that Americans have the right to bear arms. All men and women who legally own a gun should follow federal and state laws. So why should only some citizens have this right? The U.S. law does not allow anyone who was or is a user of a controlled substance own a firearm. Felons, abusers, and anyone who is known to be violent must pass a background check. All kinds of these people have a higher risk of violence and are more likely to commit more acts of violence. It only makes sense to have these restrictive laws for these kinds of people in order to keep ourselves and our families safe. Would you feel safe knowing someone that has committed a crime of domestic violence, or someone that is an unlawful user of drugs has that same right as you do to own a firearm? I know I wouldn't. There are many statistics and reasons why gun control should be restricted and why the United States should have many more laws against guns. Gun control laws regulate the possession and purchase of firearms and is intended to keep us all safe. Thomas Sowell quotes that the key fallacy of so-called gun control laws is that such laws do not in fact control guns. They simply draw abiding citizens, while people vent firearms and violence and find firearms readily available. People say owning guns makes them feel safer, but if guns were not a problem, and that we did not worry about the damage that guns have caused to many around the world, and we did not have to worry about the untrusted citizens that may get their hands on one, why would we feel unsafe to begin with? Thank you.